I know I said no more Pokemon, but we might actually be back. But first, welcome back everybody. I'm the Rich Nobody and I hope you all are having a blessed day today. So I know last week I uploaded a video where I said I quit Pokemon at its peak or something along the lines of that, and that was true for a little bit. But within the last week, something came up and it kind of changed things around a little bit. I don't know if there's like any legal problems about talking about this, but I mean, like, it's not like it was anything defamatory or anything, so I'm just gonna go ahead and say it. If I'm not supposed to, I'm sorry in advance. But basically, last week I got a call from one of Whatnot's people, and they kind of just wanted to check up on me because I hadn't really done a show in a little bit, and they were just, wondering if I was, not liking it as much, or if, something was changing. Just basically getting a status update on one of their favorite people on the platform. So I did set up a call with them, and I told them, like, hey, you actually kind of called at a pretty decent time because, I'm setting up my shows again. I was kind of off for a little bit, but now I'm back on it. If y'all want to go and see, link in the description, the Rich Nobody on Whatnot. But then we kind of just started getting to talk about, what I was actually selling, because whenever I started my Whatnot account, there was a little bit of confusion, like, are you selling Pokemon? Because at the time I was still doing this whole like social media thing about the Rich Nobody and Pokemon and all that kind of stuff. So they were like, were you doing Pokemon? Like, I know back then you were talking about sports cards, like what's the deal with that? And I was like, well, I kind of was doing baseball cards the whole time, but the baseball cards were doing pretty well, so I wasn't like thinking about stopping that anytime soon. And they were just like, cool, that's nice, happy for you kind of thing, just like, glad you're being successful with it. But then we started to conversate a little bit more. He was like, are you still doing the social media thing? I saw that you weren't really posting to Instagram all that much. And I was like, yeah, I mean, I haven't really made a whole lot of like shorts content, and that was kind of my thing on Instagram. I was like doing a whole bunch of reels and all that stuff. So I was telling him, like, I haven't really done that in a while just because I don't have much content to go on there right now. But it's like, I haven't really quit. I've kind of just sort of taken a hiatus. And then the conversation switched to the pitch, of course. And the person that I was on the phone with was just like, hey, what if you just tried selling Pokemon on Whatnot for a change? And they were like, you don't have to switch specifically to only Pokemon. You can just do like one show or a couple shows a week doing Pokemon. The rest of them can be sports cards. You can do whichever one works best for you, but like, would you be willing to give Pokemon an option? Because like right now it's doing really well, and we can help you with some of the marketing and stuff like that. And at the time I was at my job, I was on my lunch break, I was kind of just driving. I think I was going to get Burger King or something like that. Beautiful Whopper, by the way. I love that new recipe. But I'm not really one to turn down an opportunity recently. I've kind of been a yes man to a lot of things. So I was like, no, I mean, I'd be open to it. I would definitely, maybe give it a shot for a couple shows, see what happens. And they were like, great. Would you want to, set one up and let us know when you do it so that we can help you with the marketing and stuff? And I was like, yeah, sure, why not? So I think this day was probably Friday of last week. So after I got off of work, I ended up scheduling the shows, let the person know because I had their contact and stuff. And they were like, great, looking forward to it, super excited. And I was like, I'm excited too. And then, the week went by, and then came Wednesday for the Pokemon show. Now, at the time of recording this video, that day was yesterday, and now I'm finished with the show, and I'm here to share the results and everything else that we're going to talk about in this video. So let me set the stage here a little bit. So whenever I was doing sports cards, I wasn't like the biggest show on Whatnot, but I was selling a decent amount. And by decent, probably extremely low numbers compared to what you would probably think is a successful Whatnot stream. But for me, a successful stream was selling like $40-50 worth of cards in 2 hours or something like that. And it's like, realistically, that's pretty decent if you put it into like an hourly rate. That's like $20 to $25 an hour. That's pretty decent for some people. So I did that with, I think it was around 10 or so streams last year that I was doing those numbers, not on like a regular basis, but on a good enough basis to where you can average out the shows and be like, okay, so you make on average $40 to $50 a show. So when I went into this Pokemon stream, I was like, okay, well, I'm gonna get some extra marketing. Pokemon is doing pretty good right now. What exactly am I expecting from this show? Now, going into that question, I wasn't too sure given that it was my first show And given that I've never done one of these before, I didn't know if the cards that I had picked out would even sell all that well. And to be honest, a majority of them that I picked out didn't sell at all. But I started to filter out the good cards from the bad ones during the show with the help of the chat. Great chat, by the way. People were super supportive of it being my first show and everything with Pokemon. But at the end of the show, I ended up making a grand total, and this is like before like taxes and fees and stuff like that came out. I made a total of $160 in this single stream. And I think I only streamed for like an hour and 20 minutes because, believe it or not, I actually ran out of cards to sell. Whenever I originally set up this show, I put 3 shows scheduled, and I had, gone through my Pokemon inventory, and I was just like, okay, and I separated it into 3 separate shows. But what I ended up doing, because a lot of the cards that I picked out weren't selling, I ended up going through all 3 shows worth of inventory in a single stream, and I made $160, which is the most I've ever made on a single stream before. Back when I was doing baseball cards, I think the most I ever sold on a single stream was roughly 102. I think it was $102 in a single stream. So 160, huge boost. So it was a great stream overall. Had a lot of fun talking to the people, and believe it or not, some of the people that came for the Pokemon stuff actually bookmarked my shows for the baseball card stuff, which is a show I'm having tomorrow at the scheduling of this video. I think whenever this video goes up, I'm probably going to be posting it tomorrow, which means the show is going to be happening later today for you. If you want to check it out, it's going to be 8 o'clock, 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. That's how you say it. Yep, that's the time. So if you want to check it out, of course, or bookmark it if you happen to be watching this video early, link is in the description. But yeah, it was a great show overall. I'm super pumped for the next one. But like I said, I ran out of all 3 shows worth of inventory in a single stream, so what exactly am I doing now? And last night I kind of had to think to myself, how am I going to get inventory like this super fast? Because a lot of the stuff that I was selling was stuff that came from like my personal collection. I didn't like source any of this stuff at all, so what exactly am I going to do here? And so my first thought was to go and use TCG Player, because originally I had used that a while back for just some PC cards that I wanted to get, and it was a decent experience. I didn't get any of my cards lost in the mail. I didn't get scammed at all. So I figured, I can just get a bunch of cards on TCG Player, make that work, and we'd be good to go for next week. But then there came a problem. So an issue, I wouldn't even really say it's an issue with TCG Player, but it's just a contingency whenever you order stuff off of TCG Player or just any online site in general. It's really hard to get that stuff to you like within a couple of days or something like that. TCG Player had scheduled all the stuff that I purchased to show up 2 weeks from now. So next week, as of right now, I don't have like anything. Now I do have enough for maybe like half a show worth of cards, but again, like that's half a show worth of cards. I want to have like a full, hour and a half session where I can just bam, 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 puts cards on the screen, people buying, people having fun. I can't do that right now with the current inventory that I have, so I need a plan B. So the next option I thought of was going onto Facebook Marketplace, which I haven't fully delved into yet, but I just whenever I initially thought of the idea last night, I was like, well, last time I tried looking for Pokemon cards on there, the one person that I tried messaging never answered me back, and the other person was selling just a bunch of bulk for a egregious price. So Facebook Marketplace may not be the play right now. So I started digging deeper, and I ended up finding that there's a local card show that is going to be happening this weekend in my area. So I'm going to be going to that. Hopefully someone's got a dollar bin of Pokemon cards, and maybe I can, pick out 50 to 75 cards and just try and get a good deal on them in bulk pricing, because that's how card shows work. People want to move stuff, but that's this weekend, so it hasn't happened yet, of course, so we have no idea how it's going to go. Future me, you can leave down in the comments if it was good or not. Hope you did good, bud. But that's basically where I'm at now, and why I wanted to make this video in the first place. I did say I quit Pokemon, but with how successful this show was on Whatnot, man, I might have to get back into this a little bit more, just so that I can try and get out of this 9 to 5, you know what I'm saying? Because I want to work for myself one day, and I can't do that with putting 20% of my energy into this side hustle. Now, this video is going to be a little bit on the shorter side compared to the other ones that I've uploaded, but I am going to upload another one either this weekend or sometime soon, just talking about my experience as a whatnot seller, and I'll be putting some tips in there for any of you that may want to try it out for yourself. And if you want to become a seller on Whatnot, there's a link in the description for that as well. I'm telling you right now, if it's been on your mind, you gotta do it, because like, this is gonna sound stupid like one of those ads and stuff. I promise I'm not sponsored by them, but if you're into Pokemon cards and you're like an entrepreneurial mindseted person, this is a win-win situation for you, because you're selling something that you know a lot about, you enjoy it, and that gives the audience a good experience. It gives you something to, you know, do in your side time, you know what I'm saying, and you make money off of it, you know what I'm saying. So it's a win-win-win situation. If you're thinking about it, there's no reason why you shouldn't. So there's a link in the description for that if you want to give it a shot. I highly recommend just do one show. Just do one show with like 50 cards. You don't even have to do a whole like 200, 300, something crazy like what the big boys do on there. You can just start with 50 cards. Just find 50 in your collection that you think is worth selling on there and just give it a shot. Now, sorry, I lagged out there a little bit. Don't sell high value cards in your first show. I'm gonna be honest with you. Do like $1 cards, because whenever you're first starting out, of course, you're brand new, so there's not going to be a whole lot of discovery for you just yet. Unless you promote it, that could be a different story. But if you have only like 2 people in your stream and you want to sell a $20 card, don't do it. I highly recommend you hold that off until you're more established, because chances are that thing is probably going to sell for $2. I'm not going to lie. Now, that's just a little sneak peek in the advice that I'll be giving in my next video, of course, but I just wanted to let you know that in case you happen to click that link down below and want to set up your first stream before I make that next video. But honestly, I think that's all I've got for y'all today. I'm really excited with how things turned out. I'm excited for what the future holds. If you're excited too, drop a like, drop a subscribe. Hope y'all are having a great day again, and we'll see y'all in the next video.